Step one, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step two, get some good, some food in you. Step three, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step four, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
I was muted. I forgot to unmute myself after that intro. Normally, normally I scroll down and check that when I'm right after the intro. But let me scroll back up to the data since I got through the rest of that. We have housing starts for Canada this morning, core inflation month over month and year over year, as well as the CPI median and inflation rate month over month and year over year. So that's all coming out early this morning, going to be 8:30 Eastern time, with the U.S. retail sales month over month coming out as well, and year over year. Month over month will be the bigger mover as we're coming up on the Fed's decision for interest rates. So should be a pretty big mover. Let me scroll back down to where I was. We do have industrial production month over month and year over year. Also going to be a nice little indicator of how the market is moving with the sentiment on these rate cuts. Let me hop over here and get the fear and greeds pulled up. We do have the stock market sitting at neutral at 52, which is up 2 points from yesterday. We do have crypto down 6 points to 33, so is to be expected after the little bit of a dump that we got, and I would expect that to maybe tick up a little bit as it looks like we could get a little bit of upwards movement. I've got the heat map, liquidation heat map pulled up. We've got some decent liquidity sitting underneath us at 57.2, kind of the range that I was looking at coming below the other day, but never really ended up getting down there. For the 3-day, we do have the liquidity sitting above us though, so that target is 60,691. Looks like there's about $72 million sitting above us, almost 73. So nice little target to look out for. I know there are some signs on the chart that we could probably go grab that liquidity. Let me get that first little article pulled up. We've got Bitcoin's next target, 92,000. Analyst eyes 71% surge following key support tests. The price on the flagship cryptocurrency Bitcoin has dropped significantly from its high above 64K mark last month to now trade at 57,800 after recovering from a low under the 53,000 mark, according to the popular cryptocurrency trader that goes by the Titan of Crypto on the microblogging platform X. The price of Bitcoin has recently retested its 50-week moving average, which over the last few cycles led to a bounce of at least 40%. The popular analyst added that on average, after retesting the 50-week simple moving average, the price of Bitcoin bounced 71%, which during the current cycle would mean a price rise to about the $92,000 mark, a new all-time high. The post comes after the popular cryptocurrency trader and market analyst Michael Van de Poppe revealed that he believes that the current valuation of Bitcoin is still super low, adding that he wouldn't be surprised if this cryptocurrency's price explodes to $300,000 to $600,000 this cycle. I know that kind of lines up with something that OC has said before. I think his price target is $500,000, so he's not the only one that is extremely bullish. His comments came in response to a quote from the world's largest asset manager, BlackRock, which said that Bitcoin could be the hedge against increasing global disorder and declining trust in banks and fiat currencies, which is one of the bigger draw-ins for Bitcoin. It is definitely proven itself just a smidge better than your fiat currencies. So the world's largest asset manager saw its assets under management surpass the $10 trillion mark for the first time in the second quarter of the year, after rising 13% from the same period last year and seeing $82 billion of net inflows. BlackRock's dominance extends beyond traditional asset management. The company is also the largest public holder of Bitcoin through its iShares Bitcoin Trust IBIT exchange traded fund, which currently holds more than $20 billion worth of cryptocurrency. As Crypto Globe reported, Bitcoin holders have moved around 750 million worth of flagship current cryptocurrency out of the centralized exchanges in a single day, leading to the largest net Bitcoin outflow since May. Historically, similar outflows have been followed by price increases, as often a lower supply on exchange can lead to a price rise if demand remains steady or rises. For instance, a significant withdrawal in late May coincided with a rally that propelled Bitcoin's price from below 68,000 to 72,000 within days. Conversely, large inflows have often led to price decline, as evidenced by the crash in late July and early August, according to Into the Blocks data. So I've also got something pulled up on my chart. Let me zoom out to a higher time frame. Let's look at the week chart. I've had the same little target, just going off of the area that we're in right now and pulling the flag from here down at the before this push up to this top. And depending on where you pull it from, if you line that up with the midline on a breakout, that's sitting right around that 92,000 mark. And if you pull it from the top, sitting a little bit higher, that $104,000 mark. So that's kind of where I think it would be headed if we do end up breaking out of that. And it's kind of nice to see confluence from other sources. So let me zoom down in and do a quick little overview of Bitcoin for today. Hopefully David can get in here and do more of his technical analysis. Mine's pretty simple. We did end up filling up this fair value gap that I had pulled from a 4-hour on the way up. That was starting at 58 to 59,664. So we had this big fair value gap that we ended up pulling back into. We dropped a little bit below, got a bounce off of the 382, and we're now pulled back into the middle of this fair value gap. We do have a lot of curvature on the MACD on a 4-hour chart. We do have a bottoming signal as well as curvature coming up. We do have the inflows still kind of lagging a little bit behind, so something to keep your eye on. I would see us coming back to the top of this range, sitting at that 59,600 range, and maybe seeing if we can find some strength there to retake some highs. If we end up not being able to do that, let me drop down to a lower time frame. We've got the hour chart where everything's still kind of pointing up, but the Prime Oscillator Pro is showing overbought. So that's kind of why I had my eye here at that 59.6 range for the push up. If we can collect strength there, then I would look at a continuation. If not, I would look at coming back down to that 58.7 range, which is the 236 pulled from the low over here at 52 and up to the high at 60.6. So just my little quick Bitcoin overview for the day. Let me hop over to the Dixie. As I was saying yesterday, with the rate cuts coming and the rate cuts that we've seen around the world, and Canada's coming, and we did get the European Union the other week cut their rates by 25 basis points, and Japan's supposed hikes, we are going to end up losing some of the strength in the Dixie. I still have that 99.5 range marked out for an area of interest. Could possibly get a little bit of strength down in this range, but we are seeing a lot of curvature in the bottom half of the MACD, as you can see, and a little bit of green coming in here on the prime oscillator, but we are still pointed down. So I would look at coming down to this 99 range. We will also be pushed a little bit further down as we see that interest rate cut come in and weaken the dollar just a little bit. As you can see with the bonds, people are flooding to more secure places to put their money. It has been extremely bought up. You've got the 3-month being bought up. You've got the year being bought up decently. We are seeing a little bit of curvature on that MACD, but if we see the dollar continue to lose some strength, then that's a decent place to park your money for a year with security from the government, backed full in faith by the US dollar, because they'll pay you, they're going to print the money for it. On the 2-year, you are also seeing some curvature, so people more worried about the short term than they are the long term with rate cuts coming. I did have the SPX pulled up earlier this morning. I was taking a little look at it. We are back in this CME gap from back here on July. I had talked about that the other week, as that would be the range that we'd probably pull back into. It did take a little while, I'm more of a swing trader, so I look at those longer term targets. We're now back in that range, and I'm looking at a decent amount of curvature on your MACD, and your prime oscillator has now lightened up and is now light red instead. You kind of see a little bit of curvature on your inflows, so I would look at coming up to this $5,677 range. That is that 786 on a fib extension. That would be a nice little area to find strength. Initially, rate cuts are a little bearish for some of these things, but you'll see on the stock side of things, in things like the Dow and the SPX, you'll see a little bit of a move up off of that. So people getting ready for that. We've got the Russell 2000. We've been bouncing around in this range too. We've got a lot of curvature on the prime oscillator. It looks like the MACD has finally crossed back into the positive, so that is a good sign for some of these more risk-on assets and how people are kind of getting ready for these rate cuts that are coming. It will also depend on Japan's rate cuts or rate hikes, because if they hike rates this week, I would expect to see some outflows as people will start unwinding that carry trade. Let me hop over to that article real quick. So, the Bank of Japan's next rate hike may come in December, not this week, CNBC's survey. There is a consensus among 32 analysts polled by CNBC that there would be no change at the Bank of Japan's meeting, which concludes Friday. However, the outlook for the October-December meetings is much less certain. The analysts polled by CNBC gave a year forecast for the yen of 140.2 against the dollar. Economists, FX strategies, and Japan-focused fund managers are split over the timing of the Bank of Japan's next rate hike. While closely monitoring financial market decisions, there is a consensus among the 32 analysts polled by CNBC that there would be no change at this week's Bank of Japan meeting, which concludes Friday. However, the outlook for the October and December meetings is much less certain. CNBC conducted its survey from September 2nd to the 13th. The early August volatility spike, the ruling LPD leadership contest, and desire for further evidence of wage price dynamics, which are commonly cited reasons among analysts as to why a September rate change is extremely unlikely. We think the central bank will be keen to move gradually and allow the impact of the July rate hike to be fully felt, said Jessica Hines, director in Finch Ratings economic team. The CNBC survey found 18.75% of respondents expect a hike for the October meeting, while another 25% said a hike was possible. About 25% of the analysts said that a December hike was likely, while 31.25% said it was a live meeting, meaning the Bank of Japan could adjust monetary policy depending on economic data. Here you kind of have the poll from it of September, October, and December, whereas in September was no, 100%. You have 56.2% saying no for October, while you have yes and possible, where December is looking more possible and yes. So just something to keep in mind for the week going ahead, as it might not be as detrimental to our assets as if they hike. With the solid inflation data and wage gap data, or wage data, along with resilient growth, the Bank of Japan may want to get one more hike in, while the global repricing of yield curves supports Japanese bonds, helping to ease the impact of policy adjustments and give the Japanese economy time to adjust, he said. Masashi Adachi, the chief of Japan's economist at the UBS, also predicted an October move as long as the Bank of Japan's Takkan survey remains solid and market conditions are stable, including not much noise from politics in both Japan and the US. On the other hand, Richard Kay, a portfolio manager for Japan equities at Comgest, told CNBC it is highly unlikely the central bank will raise rates again this year, especially if the Japanese yen continues to appreciate. If the yen continues to normalize to its multi-decade average of 120 to 130 US against the US dollar, a major factor in Japanese inflation named imported commodity costs is solved, he said. The main determinant of the yen is the rate of the yield gap with the U.S., and the main actor in that is the Fed. The Fed seems ready to cut. The U.S. Reserve is widely expected to cut interest rates at the conclusion of its meeting Wednesday. The Bank of Japan surprised some market participants in July when it decided to raise borrowing costs to 25 basis points, which helped spur a major drawdown of global equities and a rapid appreciation in the yen, which would be furthered by rate cuts in the US, as it will weaken the dollar just a bit against the yen and keep them from having to raise their rates more. As you've also seen Europe cut their rates, and Canada is cutting their rates as well. CNBC also surveyed 28 analysts about their end-of-year forecast to the Japanese yen against the dollar. The average projection is 140.2. So, something to keep your eye on. I can actually get that chart pulled up. Let's go. Forex yen. Here's the dollar against the yen, and as you can see with the rate the rate hike in July, you have seen the dollar slowly weakening against it. And we are now at that 140 range that they were talking about. They would like to see that come down to the 130 range. So sitting down here, that was at 130 range that they were kind of hoping to get back to, which would be definitely helped with our rate cuts. So I would like to hop over to the chat. It looks like we have Darren Does Things in here this morning, Anthony Soprano, Kyle Fields, Rokinos, St. Clair, the Dusty Hunt, and Tradefly. Good morning to all of you. Thank you for showing up today. If you would like to see me look at any assets today, go ahead and throw them in the chat now. It looks like David was up late with his kid last night, so hopefully he will be sliding in here soon. He just ended up messaging me, so maybe we can get some David TA on Bitcoin before we wrap up the show. I've got Solana that I had been looking at the other day. We had a giant fair value gap from the 5th of August that we finally ended up filling. So was a nice little point of filling and bouncing back out of. So we have now approached back on this fib extension. Let me swap to a higher time frame. We've got that sitting above us. I believe that is the 236. Let me. Oh, the 50% that's sitting above us on a fib extension. So that is sitting at 140.48. That is going to be a nice area to find some strength at. As you've seen, we've bounced off. We previously bounced right off of that and came down some. We have found strength at that 130 range. As you can see, there's been heavy buying pressure here and here and here. So it looks like we're getting a slight bounce off of that. We are seeing a little bit of a curvature on this top line, and in as well on the prime oscillator. We are seeing some inflow. So still red, but looking at a little move up on that. Let me drop that back down to the 4-hour range. As you can see, we've lightened up on the prime oscillator. And we are in the red on the inflows, but I would look at that coming back up and lightening up. We've seen curvature on the MACD as well. We are on the bottom side of things, but it is looking set to end up crossing and coming back into the positive. So that $140 range is a nice point to get back up to. We bounced off of it here and here. If we can reclaim that area and find some strength, we could end up moving out of this range and back up over here, reclaiming the top side of 140. Hold on a second. I need a drink. I didn't realize how much talking you got to do when you're the solo man, and 30 minutes doesn't seem like a lot, but it is definitely a lot. So we have BNB. I can pull up BNB. I had taken a look at BNB last week. I had this little range that I had taken just a little long on. I wanted to see us get above that line, which was a previous point of rejection. Just a quick little few hour long that I ended up catching, and I sold out here. I've been focused more on Bitcoin. I just happened to see the move because I'm pretty sure TradeFly was talking about BNB, so I had to take a look at it. It looks like we found a nice little bounce off of that range after our push up. The 236 was sitting above us, and we could not hold that. We did get a breakdown sign on the volatility indicator. Oh, it looks like we've got David coming in. Hello, good morning. Let me swap over to the screen that people can see you on.
Is this thing on?
Yes, it is. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing this
Oh.
morning?
You know, rough night. Kid found his way in the bed, and that's always a rough night. Well, the sleep isn't as good. It's you're kind of tossing and turning, and because he's just all upon you. Ugh. But I'm here. I made it. Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
So yeah, I'm ready for yeah. What we talked about today? I don't even know. You getting the people prep success?
Yes, most definitely. I went over to that Japan article where they might not hike their rates until December.
Yeah, they probably were like, "What? The Fed is thinking about 50? Maybe we need to kind of let's chill out real quick."
Oh, most definitely, because their targets are 130 on the yen to the dollar, so could very easily happen if we cut by a full percent by the end of the year.
Bitcoin's pumping right now, getting
Yeah.
a little overheated though.
Yeah, I've been eyeing a little short for just a quick super high leverage scalp, but
Yeah, I'm looking for a short too.
well,
What's so funny?
I'm glad we're lining up on what we're seeing for a quick little move. I am I did share what my price targets were for the morning, but I can share your chart with people so they can get some David TA for the morning. I don't know if you're ready for that.
No, you can do something first.
All right, let me swap back over to BNB. I was running over BNB. We've got
okay.
We've got the 236 sitting above us. That's that 551 range. We are getting a lot of curvature on the MACD on the 4-hour chart, and if we're gonna continue pumping on Bitcoin, then I would expect us to reclaim that. We got some curvature on heavy curvature on the prime oscillator as well. The oversold has shown several times with a reversal signal. So that 236 and the 551 at 551 is a nice little bouncing point to continue up and reclaim some local highs that we haven't been at for a little while. Those local highs are sitting at 597. So depending on how hard Bitcoin wants to move, we could see that come back in as a price target. I would look at this 236 and a bounce though first. You got anything for the people so far? Or
What I mean, I'm just looking at Bitcoin. It is currently, Tony pointed it out. So I threw a fib on it. Hold on, let me get rid of this stuff. I was drawing all on this last night. I was trying some new things last night. I was having some fun. I really love this chart prime indicator. The market dynamics pro. This is, if we come over here, we turn on the market structure and market structure candles. I guess this is what MSC stands for, but if it colors the candles, tells you if they're bearish or bullish. Just based off, I think it's based off of momentum, volume, all that stuff. But yeah, we're at the golden pocket. This might be a good time to take a short. um, let's see. Yeah, so we've got Bitcoin coming up. It is getting we're what am I? I'm on the 1 hour, so this we're getting a little bit overbought right at the golden pocket. It's just now getting into overbought though, so that usually means that there could be some more moves. It could just cool down for a second and then make another run at the highs. I've seen stuff like this before. Let me zoom out. I've seen stuff like this before. You saw my drawings on there where we've got these markups in the market. So that's usually a sign that the market makers are involved. But market makers, I have come to find that they know your smart money concepts. Because I've seen them try to fake out your smart money concepts. I've been noticing it a lot lately. So because of that, it's almost like they know that you expect that markdown phase to come down and come down even lower, because you usually have three waves, three-wave markup to the upside, three-wave markup to the downside, something like that. That's what they usually do when that's what the institutions like to do anyway. But sometimes I've noticed that they like to fake you out and just push and just go to the upside and just leave you hanging. But I don't know if that's what we're gonna see here. I think this might just be a little bit of a pullback, a tiny pullback before it continues higher but hits.
It looks like David froze, so that's a joy. Let's hop over to my favorite as David tries to get back in here. I've got INJ that I look at quite frequently. It is my biggest alt holding. It has now surpassed ETH because I like its potential. I did have a decent amount of Ethereum, but I didn't really want to change my average entry point too much. And this buying range on Injective is extremely juicy. I've had this point marked out for a while. It is that $18 range, $18.50 range. So I am looking at us coming up a little closer to it and bouncing off of it. We've gotten some heavy selling pressure here at the top of the range. So nice little point to lose our strength as we're getting heavy curvature on the MACD and the prime oscillator. We did get a oversold and a lightening up on the inflows. So just something to keep your eye on. I am looking at coming back down to these lows, 18.2. So nice little spot for a possible entry. We've rejected off of that a couple of times, so would be a nice spot to see a triple bottom and a push back up, as this inflow is still decently green and is not likely to turn extremely red. Let me hop over to a higher time frame on it. You are seeing heavy curvature on this. We are still in the red. The MACD is now getting curvature as well. And with my sentiment for Bitcoin being to the upside, I see a see it pulled back up. So I'm going over Injective real quick. It's my favorite. The peoples can hear you though. You are pulled back up. I am looking at us reclaiming that $18 range, that 18.6 range, and finding some bounce. You saw heavy bouncing over here off of it, and you saw heavy bouncing over here off of it. So
Heavy bouncing.
yeah, we like the heavy bouncing. That's how we make our money.
Oh, it's like it is something completely different.
Sir, this is a family show. We don't do that.
Yeah, I didn't say nothing. I didn't say anything.
If you're as dirty-minded as I am, I thought of the same thing. There is some heavy resistance up here that has been going on for a while. So, just something to keep your eye on. We are coming up against that point, which is sitting right above the $18 range. It ends up crossing over here end of the month, so could see a giant squeeze on that and see a little move up above it to finally see if we can break to the other side of it. If not, might just get some good hodl positions in on injective. That $10 range is something I've been looking at for some all in on it. We do have heavy resistance back here off of it that I would like to see turn into support. So I will just keep lowering my average buy-in on that, which is not something I could do on Ethereum, which is why I've been loading up on more injective. Let me toss that back over to you, David. You can continue on your Bitcoin TA for the morning.
Yeah, sorry guys, I don't know what happened. So yeah. Yeah. So we're what am I on? I'm on the 4 hour now. So the 4 hour looks like we are down. We're below the zero line, but money flow is still in the green. So getting a little bit of mixed signals right now. But if I was to, I mean, this would be a solid trade because we have our series of higher highs and higher lows. Let me get rid of the magnet here. Higher highs, higher lows. Coming to the upside. And then we break the trend. Now, typically, when you do this and you break the trend and you come back for a retest, this is typically a pretty high probable trade. And then you just aim for the lows.
Well, it looks like he lost his connection again. So let me hop back over. Sorry on the delay. I had to go grab some more water. I did not realize that talking so much was going to make me so thirsty. My throat's decently dry. Is there any other assets that someone wanted me to look at? I can pull that up. I've got Near pulled up. It is one of my other favorites. I am looking at some higher movements on that. We've got the 618 sitting right below us. We've got some lightning of the red on the prime oscillator, and we already got our reversal signal in. We are still kind of red, so a slight little pullback to the 618 could be a nice little point to hit a long on. That is $3.93. That is the weekly chart. Let me pull up the 4 hour for you. So we did see the curvature already on the prime oscillator back here. Several oversolds with the reversal signal back here yesterday. The MACD is finally hitting some moves to the upside on that. To follow suit, we did have a tightening of your shorter term simple moving averages and finally seeing some crossing on that. So just something to signal that we might be taken back up on that. It is still, as I was saying on the weekly, still in that outflow stage. So with the wick that you're seeing here and the selling pressure, could see a nice little pullback, as I was saying, to that $3.92 range for a little long. We are starting to see Bitcoin pulling back right now, so that's why I would look at that $3.92 range for a little long. Hopefully David can get joined back up here in a second. He said he's restarting his router, so let me pull up Ethereum. We've got the fair value gaps that I had pulled up from back in August finally filled. We filled this last one over the past week and have now fallen below it. We are seeing curvature as well on both of these, the MACD and the prime oscillator. We're still getting some red outflow, so just something to keep in mind. We've got heavy selling pressure in this range, so it is going to be a battle to reclaim this fair value gap. That fair value gap was sitting at 2,349 to 2,412. So this is going to be a whole battle range for Ethereum, as there's been heavy resistance up here at the top. You've seen it here as well. There is a lot of this untested, as you can see, giant candles down, giant candles down. So when we get back into this, you can expect to see some battling to reclaim those prices. David is back. Hello, sir. You're having all the fun this morning. Hello? Can you hear me? Oh, it looks like he froze again. So, just something to keep your eye on Ethereum as we get back into this fair value gap range. It will be a battle, and we will see a lot of chopping in this range, because as you can see, it created fair value gaps inside of the fair value gap. Something to pull back into. Did anybody have anything they'd like me to look at? Yeah, it looks like David is struggling just a little bit this morning. If not, I can pull up the NASDAQ. We did have this gap that finally ended up closing on us. Let me let me darken that background so I know that it's been filled. So Roki knows. Bring back Lunar. Oh, there he is. It looks like he is back. Hello,
Hello?
sir? Hello?
What? Hello?
Hello. The people can hear you.
I'm firing my internet service provider.
You do that. You might need to get Starlink, sir.
I just don't understand. I can be on it for hours, in the evening, but in the morning it just like cuts in and out all the time. It's like, what is going on?
Yeah,
And it never even used to do that either. So I just wonder if like my ISP is like doing stuff in the morning.
no,
Just
it's because you're giving the people too much alpha, and the Fed said stop it.
stop telling them to go short. They need to be going long. I want them to get wrecked. No. And look at that. We're getting a nice little perfect bounce off of that. We just swept Monday's high. That is what we were looking for. We get a run on liquidity to the high, breaking the range here. We've got this consolidation range right here, right? A little bit of consolidation range here, consolidation range here. We fly up to the upside. We take out the Monday high. And then this is where, I mean, if you're not already short, I'd be looking for a move down and then a move back up. And then I would be going short from there. Absolutely, for sure, 100%. Yeah, get that sweep of that Monday high. That is typically a good place to short from. And we are above the New York Open as well. We're overheated, getting overheated on our oscillators. This is on the 15-minute. Go to the 1 hour. The 1 hour is showing that we could see a little more room, or that the momentum is dying. It's one of the two. That's why it's kind of like, let's see if it gets a pullback. But what we did is we came up here, consolidated, and then we broke down. And then we broke down to the point of control right here on the fixed range volume profile. Then what do? We get a move back to the upside. We still have a little more room. I think we could get up here. Like I've been saying, I think there's still a little more room to get up here. I think we've got something. I think we have something today on the economic data. BC, can you fill me in on that?
Yeah, we have retail sales month over month, and
Okay, so
industrial.
nothing really too crazy.
And yeah, not too crazy. Canada's data is a little bit heavier. We've got their inflation data and CPI data dropping today.
Do the markets care about Canada's data?
I mean, only in comparison to the U.S.
Okay. I think it's a no.
Basically. That was my way of being polite about it.
Oh, there's no reason to be polite to them.
Hey, one of my favorite streamers is from there.
Don't be that guy. Don't.
I'm sorry, Alex.
No, I love Alex. I love messing with him in Canada. But anyway, yep, taking that Monday high. Usually that's a good place to short from, is when we come up and we take out the Monday high. We're getting a little bit of exhaustion on our oscillators, so I could see it, but it's not quite there yet for me. I'm just not seeing enough weakness, enough of a rejection. But if we do get a pull down, let me go down to the 5-minute and see what we got here. See what lows we have. Let me get rid of this so I can see. Come on, hurry up. So we've got a low here. So this is after breaking this high. We've got a low here. Kind of move up. Let's turn off the market dynamics so we can see the color of these candles. That was a big enough pullback to probably consider this a swing low. Yeah, I would just be looking for one of these lows to be taken out. Why can't I find what I want to draw with right here? So come up, down, up, down. I don't know if I count these these single candles. Probably this low. So if I see this low get taken out, and we get a bounce here off of this value area high of this range, I wouldn't consider this the value area high of the range that I'm looking at. That would be something more along the lines of this right here. And that brings us down back to the Monday midpoint. the midpoint of yesterday's range. So I could see us getting down there. Let's see, this is a 0.5. Yeah, I think it could go a little higher before I go short, but I'm definitely feeling short today. Feeling short. That's what I gotta say about that. So, yeah, I'm a little flabbergasted. So I'm just or a little I don't know. You know what I mean. You know what I'm trying to say. I'm a little thrown off. There you go. I'm thrown off my game because of the internet, sleeping in, and all this stuff. But yeah, we got this upwards trend. Wait for the trend to break, come back up to weekly open probably, and then go short, and then ride the wave down to the downside. Probably point of control 57,700 at least. Probably even lower. Taking out these lows over here. Yeah. More downside is what I'm thinking.
We do have that fair value gap that's sitting right below us, starting at 57.2. So that's where I told the peoples this morning.
57.2. Yeah.
Yep.
Right here we got value area low at 55. But that next point of control is sitting there at 56.6. There's a lot of volume down there, so would not be surprised to see that. But we're currently sitting on this big high volume node here, so we got to get through that to get down lower. So yeah, we got the previous week high, so we could see a reach up for that. So keep that in mind. Like I've been saying, it's just I'm not seeing enough. Just because we get into overbought, that just means that we're seeing some strength, but we could be coming to the end. Typically, you don't just go straight back down once you get into that overbought. Typically, it's kind of more of a wave, and then we come down. So that is, I would like to see a bearish divergence or something get put into play here. And then as this moves to the upside, something look for that bearish divergence and then go short, just so you can get some added confluence, so you know that the momentum has waned, it's slowed, and it is time to get in. I know my chart looks like a hot mess right now, but yeah. So just
Yeah,
I
it's
wouldn't jump
definitely
in
looking
anything
like
just yet.
spaghetti. Your
Yeah,
chart
it's
looks like
definitely
spaghetti.
looking like spaghetti. It's Memphis spaghetti with the barbecue spaghetti. It's good stuff.
That sounds really good.
It is.
We're so American.
We're so American, so Southern American, Midwestern, whatever. Midwest can't cook. I don't know.
I mean, they can cook some meat though.
Yeah, you can do a mean brisket. Just don't
Mm.
call it barbecue, or you'll piss us off over here.
I mean, I can compete with the best of them. It is 6:30 though, so I don't know if you had anything you wanted to wind the show down with,
Nope.
but I am.
I hope you all had as good a sleep as me, or better actually, and yeah, I hope you all have an amazing, wonderful, amazing, or beautiful Tuesday. Oh, we got Billy Goat Tales tonight. Let me see who's on.
I always forget about it because I don't listen to it live. I have to go to bed so that I can get up in the morning and get workouts in before the show. Because if I don't, I'm not working out at the end of the day. That's just too much to ask for. I normally listen to it Wednesday.
Yep. Well, Piper Academy's own Crux of Crypto will be is the guest on tonight's Billy Goat Tales. So go check that out at 8 p.m. East, or actually no, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time over there on X at Billy Goat Tales. Yeah, so go check that out. Excuse me.
Also,
Follow me at Lunar Beaches, and you'll be able to find it because I'll share it.
Also, feel free to join the Piper Academy Discord if you're not on there. They will definitely share that link in there as well as the LBC Discord. Make sure to tune in later today at this channel. We will have the morning market open report with Piper and OC Guy. And later tonight, right before Billy Goat Tales, we will have the Crypto Nightcap. So that will be with Tradefly and FD White. Make sure to tune into that one as well. They drop lots of beautiful TA and some hot data drops to end your day with. Something to sleep on, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know if you had anything you wanted to say before we wind it on out, but
I'm good. I got to get ready for work, brother.
all right. Well, thank you to everyone that showed up today. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe. Check out the links in the description as well. And trade safe today.
Use a stop loss.
Most definitely. Everyone
I love
wake
you
up.
all. It's going to be a great day.